We took a whole bunch of oil. A whole bunch. Yeah, I think it's about that time again. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Oh, we got to read our little disclaimer just to make sure y'all know that this is a comedy channel. So the content on this channel is intended for entertainment purposes only, commentary and satirical purposes only. What'd I do? There you go. Views expressed are opinions, interpretations, and comedic takes on publicly available information and should not be taken as statements of fact. This channel may include parody, exaggeration, and humor in the style of political satire. Any references to individuals, organizations, or events are part of commentary and are not intended to assert factual claims. Nothing presented on this channel should be considered legal, financial, medical, or professional advice. Viewer discretion is advised. By watching, you acknowledge that this content is for entertainment and commentary purposes only. Shall we get started? Might as well.
Successful people in the country. Cuban American business people, some of them are like the most successful
Cubans.
In the country.
Great food.
And a lot of them are friends of mine because I've been fighting this battle with them for a long time.
Everybody loves Donald Trump. He has so many friends.
The Castro regime was brutal, but they lived off Venezuela. Now they don't live off Venezuela. Sends them no energy, no fuel, no oil, no money, no nothing. They lived without Venezuela. They couldn't have made it. And we cut them off from everything else. So yeah, they're going to make either a deal or we'll do it just.
I miss Oklahoma. Amazing. Just amazing. How about yours? Happy to have you back in here. Oh my gosh. So happy. Your comments and your messages make me just so happy. Thank you for being here.
This is easy anyway. Yeah. Please, go ahead.
As Trump would say, you're wonderful. You're just completely wonderful. You're special. Everybody loves you. You're wonderful. You're tremendous. Awesome.
That's being investigated.
DG47 Arms joining in on the chat with some heat. You love Trump because you're a closet racist, but y'all won't admit that. Oh, thank you, DG47 Arms. We're trying to find the truth. I guess we would be considered centrists, and we're trying to figure it all out. And yeah, tell me the reason you love Trump so much. And are you a closet racist yourself? But thank you for joining in on the chat. Happy to have you here, buddy. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And if you have TDS, that's also okay.
I did right now.
Herbert's in the chat. Oh yeah, buddy.
Yeah, please.
Thank you.
Herbert says, not racism. It's pattern recognition.
The big risk on that war has been over for 3 days. We wiped them out in the first 2 days. When you think about it, it's incredible. We wiped out a big Navy, very powerful Navy. You know, these were ships, these were serious ships. These were ships that you buy when you want to win battles. They're all on the bottom floor. The sailors are all running off the ships. They refuse to get on the ships. The Air Force is gone. Everything's gone. The missiles are down to a trickle. The drones are down to probably 25%, and they'll soon be down to nothing. We'll have where they manufactured the drones are under fire as we speak. They're being hit. So the rest is going to be a determination as to my attitude, along with the people in the Trump administration, what we want to do. Thank you.
He's talking about the ships.
Yeah,
Now
please.
They're all at the bottom of the
Can I
ocean.
ask you, you mentioned you were going to waive certain additional oil waivers or sanctions. Can you talk a little bit more about that and address in particular?
Well,
are
we're
you
looking to
considering
keep
measures
the
like-
oil prices down. We went artificially up because of this excursion into a very positive thing. I mean, this was an excursion that a lot of people wouldn't have done. I knew oil prices would go up if I did this, and they've gone up probably less than I thought they'd go up. But I don't think anybody thought we were going to be this quickly successful. This was a military success, the likes of which people haven't seen. We have the best military. We have the best equipment. We have, I believe, the best generals. We have the best. And this went very quickly. We talked about that with President Putin. He was very impressed with what he saw because nobody's ever seen anything quite like it. You know, Iran was a very powerful military country with all of the missiles. Now, you had the double attack. You had the original attack with us and Israel, and that knocked them for a loop. Then you had the B-2 bombers, which took out their nuclear capability, and they would have had a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks to 4 weeks. And they would have used it long before this press conference. And we might have had a much different press conference if we had a press conference at all. But it's been amazing. The military success that we've had is truly unprecedented.
Truly unprecedented. And for all y'all who think Trump is daddy, I got a daddy video for you. And this is so heartwarming.
Hey, Delta Charlie, you lost your front nose gear tire on rotation, and that's definitely how it appears out the window. Diamond 8 Delta Charlie, did you copy?
Copy, 8 Delta Charlie.
Your entire front wheel assembly is on the runway.
Roger that. Should I remain in the pattern?
Diamond 8 Delta Charlie, you tell me what you need.
Pilot for Diamond, sir.
Affirmative, it is 8 Delta Charlie.
You by yourself?
This is
I am
so
solo.
wild.
Hey, I'm a flight instructor in 3 Echo Juliet if you need any help.
I would love a bit of assistance, 8 Delta Charlie.
Okay, kiddo, just keep that stick all the way back, set it down nice and easy, nice and smooth.
This is my third solo ever. Thank you, guys.
Delta Charlie pilot, what's your name, kiddo?
My name's Taylor.
And Taylor, this is Chris. My daughter's name is Taylor, and I taught her to fly. We're gonna be just fine, kiddo.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is no big deal. It's just gonna make a little bit of noise. That wheel came off completely, so it's gonna grind and expect that. But when you touch down, I just want that stick all the way back. You're gonna hold that stick back like you don't want that nose to touch, just like exactly like you said it earlier, that soft field landing. And when the nose comes down, then we're gonna go up to the brakes, and if it starts to go right, we're gonna touch a little bit of left brake. We're just gonna use anti-braking to keep it straight.
Copy that.
Okay, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Just want this to be over.
It's gonna be over. It's gonna be fine.
So much
Hold
suspense.
it off.
Is she gonna
Hold it
land?
off. I like it. Right there. It's a good attitude. Hold it. Gentle. Now she's down. There you go, kiddo. Nice. There's stick back gently. Stick back gently. Now go for the mixture. Got a kid. Nice job. Here she comes. The nose is gonna come down. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. Talk to me, kid.
Good. I'm all good.
That a girl.
So guys, the backstory on this one is kind of crazy. You had a young girl who's only about 3 times, I think, solo flying, and she loses her front landing gear, right? And the tower says, hey, FYI, you're not going to be able to land. And this dad, this corporate pilot that's there actually waiting for his passengers to show up, jumps in, this dad, and he just takes over. And you can just see that not only is he in pilot mode, but at the end of this, he's in dad mode, and he's making sure that this young girl is comforted, knows that, hey, this is going to be a little bit of a rough landing, but we're going to do this together. And I tell you what, this is what fatherhood is, right? It's, you know what, things are going to be bumpy as a parent and a child, and you're going to have things that are thrown into your life that you're going to have to get through. But I'm always going to be here for you guys. Absolutely love this video.
That's amazing. What a heartfelt movie for all of you who believe Trump is daddy. And there you go. Ken has jumped in the chat. Question: how many Trump supporters does it take to change a light bulb? Answer: none. Trump claims he fixed it, and they all stand around cheering him in the dark. Oh, we got the best chat in the world. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on notifications. We're going live every single day of 2026.
We know a lot about them. The biggest problem we have is the Democrat shutdown. We know a lot about them, but the shutdown doesn't allow us to do what we have to do.
Do you have to take him out? Does he have a target on his back?
You mean the new Supreme Leader? You mean the son?
How can there be an Iran?
Well,
with
I don't want to.
Ayatollah?
I don't want to say that, but I was disappointed because we think it's going to lead to just more of the same problem for the country. So I was disappointed to see their choice.
Thank you, sir. You've said you have someone in mind to be the new Iranian leadership, if not the Ayatollah's son. What are you looking for in that person? Are you looking at someone internal, given that you just said that their leadership has been decided?
I like the
and
idea
wiped
of internal and eternal, come to think of it. But I like the idea of internal because it works well. I mean, I think we've proven that so far in Venezuela. We have a woman, Delcy, who has been, president of the country, very respected, she's doing a great job. And it's, no disruption. We had, as you remember, Iraq, where everybody got fired. The military got fired, the police got fired, the politicians got fired. There was nobody. And you know what they turned into? ISIS. And we don't want that. We don't want that. So I would like to see people that are inside go. Now they talk about the son of the Shah. They talk about other people. But, hasn't been there in many, many years. We have a formula that's been very good so far, and I think it'll continue to be good. The relationship is extraordinary with Venezuela, a smart country. We've taken out 100 million barrels of oil. It's right now
impressive
in Houston being taken care of and made so beautiful. And you have to see this at work. They have it's brought to the refineries. It's being refined in Houston, which is made exactly for that product. And so far, but it's 100 million barrels of oil, and now they have another 100 million barrels coming. And it's like a partnership. We're getting along so well with them. It's great for Venezuela, and it's great for the United States. Yeah, please go ahead.
Hi, Mr. President. You just suggested that Iran somehow got a...
Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We're going live every single day of 2026. And just for all of the Democrats in the chat, we got to check out some highlights. Joe Biden bizarrely nippled 3 babies. He's funny, actually. Biden's pretty funny. I haven't seen this one. This is a good one. Always pretending to eat the feet.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. He's going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it. Anyway, Mr. President.
I'm better.
You are a hell of a lot better.
Thank you so much. Mr. President.
President Putin.
Thank you very much.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president because I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there.
I don't know. It's a toss-up. Biden and Trump. Who's funnier?
We got to just remember who the hell we are. We're the United States of America.
By the way, I'm proud to be, as I said, the first vice president, first black woman to serve with a black president. I'm proud of the role of the first black woman in the Supreme Court. There's just so much that we can do.
Listen, guess what? They want to, the guy we're running against, what's his name? Donald Dump or Donald whatever. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers. They've raised $500 million, billion dollars, I should say, in a 10-year period, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look,
oh my God!
If we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts. And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do? Why? Yes. So, Joe, I'm going to hand it over to you because we have such a great group of supporters here. So thank you all for coming.
Yeah, Kev, you did.
Thank you.
This is
You've been here the whole time. I see it. I see that patch here.
Two things can be true at the same time.
Brazil, accompanied by the Director General of the International Labor Organization.
President Biden, can you hear me? You can? Yes, good. And so...
He walks his own way. He doesn't care where they walk. He's pointing the wrong way. Drafting starts June. Is Biden going? Weekend at Bernie's. Yeah. I feel bad. Whenever that happens, I feel so bad. Oh no, bro, take it easy. He's gonna hurt his ankle. Oh my God. That's a bunny rabbit. That's a yellow card. Somebody fouled him, dude. Somebody fouled him. He appeared to fall asleep.
North Carolina announced its 100-day incentive, its $100 incentive today. Places that have offered the $100. That'd be really good. I'd go back and get vaccinated 3 times. But all kidding aside, offered the $100 to get vaccination.
Did we forget about that? $100 to get vaccinated. All right. Good deal? Not a good deal?
Have seen an uptick of 25% on daily vaccination rates. I caught part of President Putin's press conference, and he talked about the need for us to be able to have some kind of modus operandi where we dealt with making sure the Arctic was, in fact, a free zone. So
maybe he's talking in the future, like all this stuff he's already, like, it's gonna happen.
Called Great Recession. The president asked me to be in charge of managing that piece, then President Trump. Excuse me, Freudian slip. That was the last president. He caused, anyway, that was President Obama when I was vice president. There is some movement, and I don't want to, well, maybe choose my words. There's some movement. There's been a response from the opposition.
What's that called whenever it's like elder punishment? Like whenever you beat up older people? It feels like whenever I watch Joe Biden speak, it feels like he's getting beaten up by the words that he's trying to use. I just feel so bad for him.
But yes, I'm sorry, from Hamas. At the meeting, if you don't have a game plan, he may have a game plan. He just hasn't shared it with me. But I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed.
Patriot for Life -USA. I believe that, bro. I believe it.
Vladimir Putin is weakened by recent events.
Pandemic.
It's hard to tell, but he's clearly losing the war in Iraq. He's losing the war at home. And he is,
As you know, initially, the president of Mexico, Sisi, did not want to open up the gate to allow humanitarian material to get in. I talked to him. I convinced him to open the gate. He got shot down in New Guinea, and they never found the body because there used to be a lot of cannibals for real in that part of New Guinea. And increase economic growth. Folks, imagine what we can do next. 4 more years. Pause. 4 more years. 4 more years. Pause. And the erection is to storm Capitol Hill patriots. He says if reelected, he wants, quote, every one of them. Pardon. Give me another 2 inches. Thank you. All right, what am I doing now? Still my jersey? I don't know who the hell Nathan's haberdasher is. I like his dreads, man, I tell you. Looking good, Nathan.
How amazing would it be if Kamala became president? Or unamazing? Oh, poor Biden. Poor Biden. Oh, man.
In addition to the fact that we've taken out the leadership twice and maybe 3 times. And we, as you know, we want to be involved. We don't want another president that maybe wouldn't be willing to do what I'm willing to do for the good of the world, for the good of our nation, to be stuck with the situation in 5 years or 10 years from now. So we think they should put a president in, or the head of the country in, that's going to be able to do something peacefully for a change. They've been doing this for 47 years, killing people for 47 years, whether it's the barracks or even the SS Cole, where they were involved. Very strongly, they always denied it. But where they were very strongly involved in all.
Yo, this is heavy. Spanish Prime Minister taking shots, verbal shots, that is, at none other than Mr. Netanyahu. Is this good? Not good? What happens, man? What happens? So it says, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro calls for immediate arrest of Netanyahu. He said Netanyahu launched the worst possible unjustified attack against Lebanon. His contempt for life and international law is intolerable. He is a criminal that must be arrested immediately. He also adds that EU will suspend its association agreement with Israel very soon. Breaking news.
Todos los recursos del Estado al servicio de la gente para protegerles de una guerra, la de Irán, que no avala el gobierno de España. Y le digo a la derecha y a la ultraderecha, que no pueden estar apoyando a quien incendia el mundo y luego quejarse del humo que provoca ese incendio. Que no se puede sorber y soplar al mismo tiempo, y que la medida que más vidas salva y menos onerosa tenemos es que digan no a la guerra, para que esta guerra acabe cuanto antes. ¡Cuanto antes!
Wild, dude, wild.
Nuclear, we want enrichment at levels that were unacceptable. And they even turned down an offer for unlimited free nuclear fuel forever for civilian purposes. We had people offering them free nuclear fuel. They weren't interested in that because they wanted to build a nuclear weapon. So instead, the regime was trying to.
So Netanyahu
operatives, and we've managed.
Just admitted Israel targeted family members of Basij members, not combatants. Family members, wives, children, parents. International law is not being violated. It's being mocked. My goodness. My goodness. Where does it go from here, y'all?
The regime. We have killed thousands of their operatives, and we've managed to prove that we can hunt them down wherever they are. They have nowhere to hide. We've also targeted senior officials from the tyrant Khamenei until all the way to the family members of the Basij members. The regime.
Man. Is this propaganda? Is this AI chat? What do you think? Oh my goodness. Some of it just gets so scary for absolutely no reason. I don't know. It seems like it can be avoided. 100% it can be avoided. But also, what do I know, man? So Netanyahu on the fact that the ceasefire does not apply to Hezbollah. But I thought Hezbollah was defeated and the decapitation strategy works so well. Trump said so, right? Instead, the kosher mob just seeks to kill, sacrifice more civilians towards their sacrificial rituals for their God all. Is it accurate? Is it not accurate? I cannot say for sure.
I've said that the temper with Iran will not include Hezbollah, and we continue to strike them with all our might. Together, we have given them the strongest blow that they have suffered since the pagers. We have attacked 100 targets in 10 minutes in places that they were certain which were immune and bulletproof. And I've said...
Whoa. Man, oh man. Some hospital patients will feel more comfortable speaking in their native language. Rupert Lowe, I don't care. I have no interest in that. They should speak English. They live in England. They should speak English. Well, if they give you the care you need, does it really matter what language they speak?
To provide the best possible care to patients. Now, some of those patients will feel more comfortable speaking in their native language.
I don't care.
Right,
I have no interest in that.
Well, fine. Like
they should speak English. They live in England. They should speak English.
Doctors take.
Operation Roaring Lion. Oh my gosh. Speaking of invasions, right? Okay, we saw that one. We don't need to put any more of those. How did it not go to that one? Did I put the wrong one in there? Yeah.
Behind me is the San Diego border wall, what was once regarded as the best example of secure bordering in the United States. Now, this border wall section, it's now facing the same type of border crisis right here as the rest of the country.
We have open gaps here in San Diego, but they're just coming in.
According to statistics from Customs and Border Protection, around 7.2 million illegal immigrants entered the United States under President Joe Biden alone.
Damn, 7.2 million under Joe Biden alone, getting those Democratic votes. Allegedly, according to CNN, NBC, Fox News. And we're going live every day at 2026, so make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications.
What is actually causing this crisis? Why is the federal government stopping states from denying entry to illegal immigrants? Why are they being given free food and...
True. Great call. From 19 hours ago. So we have Beirut, Barbour, Al-Mazrah, Tyre, Southern Lebanon, Cornish, Al-Mazrah, Sidon, Dahiyeh. Huge explosion. This one up here, this Tyre one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth one up here. My goodness. Hold on, wait, was it Hezbollah? Hezbollah, okay, no, it was Netanyahu is accused of allowing Qatari funds to flow to Hamas as part of a strategy to weaken the Palestinian Authority and prevent a two-state solution. Not Hezbollah, okay. Yeah, Lone Wolf and Cub. I think that was a big wake-up call for so many people. Whenever those libtards, and those ones actually are, you know, there's some cool liberals out there. I'm not going to say like they're all, but there are some libtards out there. And when Charlie Kirk was extinguished and they're all stoked about it and happy, it's like, dude, it's a human life. How can you feel that way about a human life? Club X Bull, See Freedom 03. Nope. Oyo. I sit corrected. Thank you, buddy. And is it ever gonna change? That's the biggest question, I think, for us. And how can we find peace? How can we find peace? Oh, wonder how the not the liberals but the libtards would feel about this one, you know. Yeah, have them come into your country, right? Second suspect charged in teens.
Man in the murder of 15-year-old Miles Young. Greene County prosecutors say on March 12th, a juvenile girl messaged Young, convincing him to meet her for sex, all while the girl and 4 others, including Jeffrey Archega, were planning to set Young up. The girl then picked Young up in a separate car. Court documents say witnesses who knew Young told him not to go with her because she didn't like him and blamed him for the death of another person in a Greene County homicide from 2025. After Young was picked up, him and the girl were on West Maplewood when the other car with Archega and others turned to block the road, and according to witnesses, Young bolted and Archega followed him with a handgun. One witness told police they heard Young on the phone say he didn't want to die before they heard 2 more gunshots. Young was considered a witness in a 2025 Greene County homicide case and was expected to testify. Investigators wrote in court documents that Archega has gang affiliations and has no remorse for his actions.
Lured into a trap by suspects who made him believe he was meeting a girl. Wait, were they immigrants, though? I thought that was the whole thing, that they were immigrants. Jason Beatrice. Thank you for your service, buddy. Thank you for your service. Yeah, that's a tough one. And the fraud is unreal.
Documented.
Yeah,
and no matter.
Congressman,
what do you mean? How?
Yeah,
They're
I'm sorry
not,
to interrupt you,
they're
but
not legally
you've
here.
got to stop using
they're
the
not
cliches.
legally here.
Right, this in the shadows
They're not
line,
legally here,
I've been
Laura.
dealing with this for 25 years. I don't know what shadows you're looking at, but they're not in the shadows. They're working in restaurants. Some are. Others are engaged in widespread fraud in California.
Yeah.
But this idea
and
that they're already given amnesty, they're not already given amnesty. Why do you come on television and say that? The president has been trying to remove people from this country. The only reason they're not being removed is because we don't have strong Democrats and Republicans to support it.
No, Laura. Criminal aliens, 100% should be removed from this country, period. And the bill provides for that. I don't want anyone getting a waiver. I don't want anyone getting a free pass.
It's in the legislation.
If you have committed
a crime,
if you have committed a crime, yes, I have, Laura. If you have committed a crime, you should be removed from the country, period. Number 2, what we are trying to do is say, if you have been in the country for more than 5 years, in other words, if you came here during Joe Biden's administration, you don't qualify.
How do you determine that?
You don't qualify under this legislation.
All of this sounds great.
It's
very clear. Answer a simple question.
It's very clear. You have to be in the country before 2020. Yeah, you have to be in the country before 2020. So anybody who came,
please. Yep. All right. Please tell my audience, because they're very smart.
Yep.
How does an immigration officer determine millions and millions, determine continuous presence, and tell me the considerations they take into account to determine that?
All right, y'all, get ready for this, because this next one is a huge one. This is who did it, Democrat or Republican? You guys ready for this? Who did it? Who did it? Democrat or a Republican? Who did it? Who did it? Who did it? Who did it?
Should have paid us enough to fucking live. You know, we may not get paid enough to fucking live, but these bitches dirt cheap. All you had to do was pay us enough to live. All you had to do was pay us enough to fucking live. All you had to do was pay us enough to live. There goes your inventory.
Well, look, if they cannot prove that, if they cannot prove continuous presence, they wouldn't qualify for this. You have to be able to meet the qualifications.
I just asked you a question. How do you determine it?
You have to be able to meet the qualifications of the program, and that means the Department of Homeland Security is going to they are going to make the determination, as they always have,
rules
based on the current structure and guidelines that are in place. But the bottom line here, Laura, can I make a few points? Because this actually matters.
Yeah.
E-Verify is part of the bill.
It does.
Okay, so you actually... and it's part of the bill. And we want to verify that every single person who would be employed in this country is here legally. If you're not...
Let it burn and say the robot didn't say anything was on fire. Christine Bear, a Republican, did it. They the only ones that would record themselves. Some liberals taking shots.
Verified, you wouldn't be able to lawfully work, and we would hold those businesses accountable. The bottom line of the Dignity Act is very straightforward. You have to be in the country for more than 5 years. You cannot have committed a crime. You cannot collect government benefits.
Okay, that's false.
You have to pay a fine. You must pay back tax.
Nicole Hatfield, you're amazing, girl. More power to you. May the prayers help.
It's not false, Laura. You must pay back taxes, and you must be employed. Okay. Those are the terms. Those are the terms.
Congressman, you know how much I like you, but you can't come on this show and say to my audience that you can't have committed a crime to be eligible under the quote Dignity Act, because there are several crimes that are quote non-violent that do not qualify for inadmissibility. And on top of that, there are multiple instances, including family unity, public interest, and just discretion on the
You never know until you know.
part of immigration officers. I can't imagine Democrat immigration officers under a Democrat president in the future was going to hold this strict, we're not going to let any criminals in. Gang member affiliation
what they're going to do,
wide
Laura,
latitude.
what they're going to do, What the Democrats will do if they get complete control of Congress and the White House, they're going to end the filibuster, and they are going to pass a blanket amnesty.
Shame on you, Max Ninja. That's too funny.
Amnesty bill. That's the fundamental challenge here. What we are trying to do is say, if you came under the Biden administration, you don't qualify. If you have committed a crime, you don't qualify. And here's the thing about legislation, Laura.
Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We're going live every single day of 2026, and we got some breaking news with the Strait of Hormuz. It says early signs of vessel movement are showing. Following the ceasefire announcement, which includes a temporary reopening of the strategic waterway to allow for negotiations. I'll zoom this in a little bit so y'all can see a little bit of that movement. That's good news, right? That's very good news. The white part is the water, obviously, right? And those are boats. Mexico paid for some of the southern wall. Tell me I'm wrong, please. Pesky facts. Yeah, bro. You are wrong. Just because I want to disagree with you. We all know how peaceful this lady is. She's like the epitome of peace. And that is a practice of sarcasm. So, a resurfaced clip of Hillary Clinton from 2008 is circulating online, in which she says, "I want the Iranians to know that if I'm president, we will attack them."
I want the Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack Iran. whatever stage of development they might be in their nuclear weapons program in the next 10 years, during which they might foolishly consider launching an attack on
What type of Republican is Hillary again?
Israel, we would be able to totally obliterate
what did she
them.
say about Israel?
In their nuclear weapons program in the next 10 years, during which they might foolishly consider launching an attack on Israel, we would be able to totally obliterate them. That's a terrible thing to say, but those people who run Iran need to understand that, because that perhaps will deter them from doing something that would be reckless, foolish, and tragic. I want the...
Jason Beatrice, 7362. May your friends' souls rest in peace. So sorry to hear about that, man. So sorry. That's a tough one, man. Tough one. The downsides, the huge downsides of war, losing friends and family. Yeah. Any Canadians in the chat? We got something for the Canadians.
There's a narrative in America, and the narrative is that you were about to win and your party was about to win, but then Trump came along and said he was going to turn Canada into the 51st state, and everybody went crazy. Is that accurate?
I wouldn't say they went crazy. I mean, it was.
They got very upset.
They should be upset, though. I mean,
well, it's a crazy thing to say.
It is a crazy thing to say. Canada's not for sale. We're never going to be the 51st state. We love Americans as neighbors and friends, but we want to be uniquely and we want to be sovereign as Canadians. It's our country. It's where we grow up. You're a patriot as an American. I'm a patriot as a Canadian. It's where my grandfather arrived. It's where our collective ancestors put on military uniforms and sailed to fight wars. It's where our grandkids are going to live. We're very proudly Canadian. So we're never going to be the 51st state. And I just wish he'd knock that shit off so that we can get back to talking about the things that we can.
What happens if Canada actually does become the 51st state?
Do as two separate, but two separate countries that are actually friends.
You never know. You just never know. Never know. Is this like marriage, or is this like Democrats and Republicans arguing? This is an interesting clip and it resonates because it's talking about this situation, but in the past with a different perspective.
It's not our fault what came out. We didn't go into Egypt.
Well, we
wound up with the Muslim Brotherhood.
We didn't go into Egypt. We were supporting and propping up Mubarak for 30 years, even as we were cheering for all the Tahrir Square demonstrators as though we were on their side. It was our government that kept Mubarak in power, just like we've done across the entire Muslim world. And it's amazing for you to say that, well, look at all these Muslims. The minute you give them a little bit of freedom, they go wild and they start being all violent. How can you be a citizen of the United States, the country that has generated more violence and militarism in the world over the last 5 or 6 decades, and say, look at those people over there, they are incredibly violent? We play a significant role in what has been happening in the Middle East because we've been interfering and dominating that region in order to have access to the oil.
I wasn't talking about violence.
So,
I was talking about theocracy. That doesn't happen here.
No, well, okay, that doesn't happen here, but at the same time, Iran isn't invading lots of other countries and occupying them for a decade, nor are fundamentalist Muslim countries the way the United States is. So these things are interlinked because we are continuously interfering in that part of the world. And so to say...
Really, it's all our fault?
It's not all our fault, but when you send your military for 6 straight decades into other countries to bomb them, kill their children and women and innocent men, prop up dictators, yeah, you take responsibility for...
Ooh, Mojave Red. Rogan complained that the COVID vaccine wasn't tested. Meanwhile, he sells his Alpha Brain snake oil that has 0 testing. Did not know it has 0 testing. Has anyone tried the Alpha Brain? Heard good things about it. I haven't tried it yet, though.
For your actions and say, to the extent that that region...
That religion goes back 1,000 years before our revolution, so I don't think we can take all the blame.
I don't think we should. I think we should take a lot of it. And there's lots of bodies and corpses that have been piled up in the name of Christianity and Judaism as well.
Not recently.
Have you heard of the occupation of the West Bank and Gaza for the last 50 years, motivated in part by extremist views of...
By the last 50 years.
Judaism, or the wars in Europe, or the fact that there were generals in the United States saying we have to go and invade and destroy Iraq, a country of 26 million people, because our God is bigger. Lots of religions, not just Islam, produce violence.
That silly liberal view that all religions are alike because it makes you feel good.
No, it makes you feel good to say our side is better than people over there are primitive and violent.
No, it makes you feel good to put a crown on your head and say, I'm a good person. How do I prove that?
You get to ignore the responsibility that your own government has for the violence and instability in the world by saying, look, it's that primitive religion over there that's to blame.
What is it about Trump that...
John Smith, I don't know if any of those over-the-counter like multivitamins or vitamins are ever FDA approved. I think it's very rare for those to be FDA approved. I don't know for sure, but I think it's very rare. The honey packs he sells works great. Yeah. Absolutely.
Is your side seeking, or will you seek, a ceasefire with the United States at this point in time, and with Israel?
I don't see any room for diplomacy anymore, because Donald Trump has been deceiving others, and not...
Yeah, Mojave Red. That's what I thought. Supplements don't require FDA approval.
Keeping with his promises.
How does all of this end then? If you say right now there's no room for negotiation, President Trump says he wants complete surrender, what does that lead to?
There's no room unless the economic pressure would be built up to the extent that other countries would intervene to guarantee this termination of aggression of Americans and Israelis against Iran.
Iran has a new
termination of aggression of Israelis and Americans against Iran. He's saying it flat out, just the way. He wants to terminate all of that aggression. So he's being very defensive here.
New supreme leader, what does that mean for your military effort and the confrontation with the United States and Israel?
That means the system is quite functioning.
The United States says it's drastically degraded the Iranian military, the capabilities as far as missiles is concerned, drones is concerned. How much longer can you do this?
That is one of the false narratives that the United States government is producing.
That's the thing I'm curious about, chat. Is this a false narrative? Anyone happen to be in the field on either side that can say yes or no, it is or it's not a false narrative? And we're going live every day at 2026. So make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications.
Iranian military is quite strong, as you see, because they have the motivation, they have the arms that they need.
I'm sorry, he said they have the motivation, but he doesn't sound motivated at all. He's just like, but of course.
Which are produced in Iran.
So your side is ready for a long war if the United States and Israel choose that. Do you consider this an existential threat to...
Thank you, Grow Gene 7. Happy to have you here, buddy.
The Islamic Republic?
It is an existential threat to the Islamic Republic, and therefore we have to stay with full might, as we are doing now.
Finally, what is your message to President Trump as we sit here?
Uh-oh. What happened? Check, check.
Here, as the war is going on.
What is important for us is the end of this game. And we are ready to continue that game.
And you mean how this war will end? Is for
the end of the game.
Jason Beatrice says, dude, we bent Iranian forces over and took advantage of them. Okay. All right. So, there we go. Heard it from the chat.
Would be the time that
thank you,
American and Israelis would come.
I appreciate it. Real GSE music.
Come to this understanding that this strategy is not working.
Yeah, if the American strategy is not working, what should be happening? What should be happening? Trump destroying CNN for the libs.
It's led people to have the lowest level of trust ever in mainstream media.
What did you say?
What would you say to the survivors?
You are the worst reporter. CNN has no ratings because of people like you.
There was a recent CNN ratings.
Who roasts better than Donald Trump?
Got like,
honestly, tell me who roasts better than Donald Trump. Tony Hinchcliffe, of course. David Lucas, yeah. Not too many people though.
43,000 people watching CNN, which is insane.
You know, she's a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile on your face.
It's nuts that this massive, major, worldwide, international news organization is getting 43,000 people watching their show.
You know why you're not smiling? Because you know you're not telling the truth. You're a very dishonest organization. They should be ashamed of you.
People have completely lost faith in...
Real GSC music has dropped some knowledge in the chat. I'm Canadian, and all I have to say is I've studied wars for about 13 years now, and this has all the signs of a prolonged war. I hope you're wrong. But who knows? Maybe the military-industrial complex is like, you know what? We got to make some money. We got to make a lot of money. Trump ran to BRICS for help with Iran. BRICS have half of the world's population. It's a possibility. Where's the guy that just quit? There we go.
A major resignation today in the Trump administration because of the war in Iran. Joe Kent, the director of the National Counterterrorism Center, posted his resignation letter to Donald Trump this morning, saying that he cannot, quote, in good conscience, support the ongoing war in Iran.
That's a pretty huge statement. If this man quits and he says, I just can't support the war, that sends a pretty big message to so many people. And it's not he's not like a commentator that's working on Fox or CNN or MSNBC or something. He was the head counter-terrorist, the director.
Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. Joe Kent also said he, quote, cannot support sending the next generation off to fight and die in a war that serves no benefit to the American people nor justifies the cost of American lives. This is significant for two reasons. One of them is that this is the latest pro-MAGA, pro-Trump figure to break from President Trump.
Yeah, Jason Beatrice. Yeah. What would happen then, man? What would happen?
On the issue of the war in Iran. But unlike commentators like Tucker Carlson or Megyn Kelly, Joe Kent actually served as an official in the administration. All of these critics blame to one degree or another the involvement of the U.S. in this war on Israel, which President Trump disputes.
So these people are blaming Israel, and President Trump is disputing that. Okay.
Some commentators note that this is an interesting way for these critics to absolve President Trump of what he himself decided to go to war in Iran. We should note
Richard Grissom is new here. Welcome to the chat, buddy. Everybody welcome Richard. Thank you for being here. Happy to have you on board, buddy.
That Kent, when he was nominated for director of the National Counterterrorism Center, was criticized.
Oh, Frodo Blaggin's in the chat. Trump. Joe Kent's resignation was pretty telling that this war was not the United States idea.
And faced opposition in the Senate because of his alleged ties to white supremacists and anti-Semites. Polling does not suggest any major split in the MAGA coalition when it comes to their support for President Trump and the war in Iran. But Kent's letter does note Trump's, quote, values and the foreign policies that he campaigned on in 2016, 2020, and 2024, that Trump, quote, understood that the wars in the Middle East were a trap that robbed America of the precious lives of our patriots and depleted the wealth and prosperity of our nation. And no doubt.
What a poet. Well written. Well written. And it's so few words that strike so far home.
A lot of supporters of President Trump do feel that way, that President Trump had promised to end involvement in wars abroad. And some of the most prominent people who felt that way.
Real GSC Music says, Leap plans. I'm playing Rust. It's good practice for how to survive in case this decade goes south.
Have either adjusted their views, as with Vice President J.D. Vance, or really remained silent and bit their tongue, like the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. Kent is a veteran. He deployed 11 times. He's a Gold Star spouse.
Gold Star spouse. This is his wife. His wife. Such a sad story. Man, they look like a great couple.
His late wife, a naval officer, was killed by a suicide bomber.
Just imagine that. Your wife is killed by a suicide bomber, and that's your woman. And you decide to quit your job because you don't want to hurt people. But imagine how much anger he must have had, like, inside of him. And then how big that decision is for him to leave, even with all that passion of, wanting to get back in whatever way. Or maybe it was a change of heart and he became very soft and sensitive and discovered how fragile life actually is.
In Syria during the first Trump administration. It is unclear how much of an impact this letter will have, given the kind of conspiratorial nature of the letter, the fact that he blames Israel.
Ojos Verded 19, how are you from Puerto Rico? God bless you. Thank you for being on the chat and being one of the 20% of my female viewers. You are welcome here.
Israeli officials, the American media, the Israel lobby, but we will see. This is certainly a very high-profile split from the president on this major issue, war with Iran.
Man. And what does that say about the United States and the team when Mr. Kent leaves. Looks like Kent Clark. Yeah, we love the ladies over here. You are all welcome here. Women are so special. And this is Rust, the game that chat was talking about. Rust on Steam. I'm guessing. Never played this, but I'm guessing since he hyped it up, it's probably a good one. Oh my gosh. Yeah. This is like a very, very interesting game plan this gentleman is chatting about here.
Got them over there fighting. More and more, the longer they're there, the less time we have to move them somewhere else and do something else with them. If I were China, I would say, let's let them play this out. We'll let them get tired.
I mean, Xi has said he wants to take Taiwan by 2027. We're already declaring low munitions. Israel is declaring low munitions. Wouldn't it be interesting if Israel demanded more munitions from us and we refused and then they just pulled out of this?
Mm-hmm.
You think that's a possibility? I got one hot question.
Uh-oh.
You ready?
You never did an introduction either.
I did the intro last time. I'll do one. I'll put one out.
All right.
You ready?
No.
For the last 2 years, China hasn't needed a formal invasion to keep pressure on Taiwan. It's used gray zone tactics, aircraft incursions, naval presence, joint sword exercises, and psychological pressure to normalize military cohesion around the island. Now, while the world is locked on Iran and the Strait of Hormuz, Taiwan is again reporting PLA aircraft and naval activity. Beijing is publicly announcing humanitarian aid to Iran, Jordan, Lebanon, and Iraq, and Washington is even pressing China to help keep major energy checkpoints open. So here's the question. Are these just separate headlines, or are we watching China exploit a moment where America is being pulled back into the Middle East, using one crisis to test how much pressure it can place on Taiwan before the world treats it like the next emergency?
Yes. One of the problems I see with us in Iran is we are depleting our military ability to project force in other areas. If I were Russia and China, if it were me, I would let Iran play out longer.
Clooney 45 says America lost the war in Vietnam. Now America, a superpower, is also losing the war in the Middle East. Wrong, Clooney 45. It was just a situation. Just a situation. If you lose something, you don't call it a war. You just call it a situation.
I would let the U.S. use more of it.
How big is your ego, man? Just admit it. Like, okay, I lost. So what can I do to get better so I don't lose again, right? Isn't that the best mentality? Just like, how did that happen? Okay, and now how can I get better?
Military war fighting capability, and then when they've played it down enough, I would go take Taiwan. It's what they wanted to do for a long time, but we are kind of holding them back. Well, we've got 2 carriers in the Gulf. People could only stay on board for so long. The nuclear power plants can run forever. The people get tired. We can't take them right from there and move them over. I mean, we've got the one carrier in the China Sea, but same thing. I mean, we've got 3 carriers out there fielded right now. The others are in dry dock or maintenance. So if we've got them over there fighting more and more, the longer they're there, the less time we have to move them somewhere else and do something else with them. If I were China, I would say, let's let them play this out. We'll let them get tired. Once they're tired, we'll do what we want to do, and they won't be able to stop us because they're going to be too tired to come over here and do that.
I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, Xi has said he wants to take Taiwan by 2027.
Yeah.
And we talked about this at the beginning when I was talking about the sleeper cells within the U.S., and I had mentioned that aren't we stretching ourselves a little thin here?
We are, yeah.
Once again, Venezuela, Ukraine, now Iran, Gaza, Cuba, Panama, Greenland. Like, it's a lot of resources going out. And so I don't, we're already declaring low munitions. Israel is declaring low munitions. Wouldn't it be interesting if Israel demanded more munitions from us and we refused and then they just fucking pulled out of this?
Mm-hmm.
You think that's a possibility?
It's a possibility.
I think it is.
I wouldn't put that past.
Great frame. But also, it seems like a lot of people are just kind of questioning Israel quite a bit in these situations for whatever reason.
At all.
There goes Rome.
Hey, you're on your own. I don't know that I covered this.
They would literally just say, you initiated it.
You started it. You go finish it. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
Me too.
I don't think I covered this, and I don't. Yeah, it's not classified. In Desert Storm, when I was there, we were there for 9 months, and American Fighting Machine, strongest, biggest, best in the world.
Lone Wolf and Cub. Did gas go below $3 under Democrats?
And we are. There's a lot of nuances to that, though, that people don't understand. When I was there, right before we kicked off the offensive to move north, right, in late January, February, we got told
Obama's two terms, 2009 and 2017, averaged roughly $3.12 per gallon. Cool story, bro. Cool story. Hussein Obama.
Hey, whatever ammunition you have right now, that's what you get. Small arms, 50 cal, 9mm. That's what you got. And we went, you mean that's what we got until we kick off?
Max Ninja 13. Soon as F word hit the market, we left Afghanistan real quick. Is that accurate? Never thought about that. But it was around the similar time, right? Oh my gosh. And how bad is that thing, man? Gets rid of people so fast. Huge problem.
Our forward movement, right? They're like, no, that's what you got. We said, well, what about when the supply ships come from the U.S.? And they're like, there are no supply ships from the U.S. This is it. So we had one can of 50 caliber for our big 50 cals on our helicopter. That's gone in 4 seconds. And we said, well, what about then? They're like, take it off its mount and throw it at them because you got nothing else. We're like, what happened to all the ammo? And I didn't understand it. It was just, it was a mystery to me. I'll get to the end in a minute. The other thing that happened was the engines in our helicopter. We have big engine air particle separators on the front that have these cyclonic tubes. So if you suck in sand, it spins it, throws it to the outside, removes it so you get clean air in your engines. Smart thinking. We found out that in Saudi Arabia, the sand was so fine, it's like flour. It wouldn't spin out, but it was highly corrosive.
Timothy B 175. If these guys, if these guys were half as smart as they think they are, people would be asking their opinion.
So we started eating away and eroding the front edge of all the blades of our engines, our turbine engines. What happens is in a turbine engine, you suck the air in, these blades compress it, and once it's compressed, you put fuel with it and you light it off, and then it expands out the back and gives you thrust. Well, each one of those little blades is like a wing. And if the wing is degraded, it doesn't fly anymore. It doesn't compress anymore. When that happens, you have fuel being poured into an engine at a rate it thinks it's getting air for, but there isn't that much air. So the fuel just burns, and eventually your engine lights on fire, essentially. It's called a compressor stall. There's a little more to it, but eventually, effectively, your engine catches on fire. We would train for this in flight school, and we all joked, we're like, has anybody in the history of flying ever seen a compressor stall? And we're all like, no, never happened. Well, it started happening to us every single landing. What? Every time we landed the helicopter, we'd get a compressor stall in one engine, to the point where the co-pilot would have his hands on our control levers, watching the engines, just waiting, because one of these at least is going to go when we land. And you had to pull it offline immediately or it would light on fire. We burned up one whole aircraft because we didn't get it off fast enough. The engine lit on fire, lit the other engines on fire, lit the gearbox on fire, and the whole helicopter just burned to the ground. But what the U.S. did was, well, we're sending you new engines. So out there in the desert, we would swap an engine, right? Mm-hmm. That lasted for about 3 months. And those engines got degraded. And then we said, okay, we need new engines again. They're like, there aren't any. We swap engines like one engine a year. You just swapped 3 in 2 months. We don't have spare engines to put on here. Whatever you've got on that aircraft right now is what you're going into combat with. And we're like, so we're going into combat with engines that don't work and guns that we don't have ammo for. And again, this is where a lot of my problems with what we were doing came from, where I'm like, what are we doing? What we're being told, what the American public is being told, and what we're seeing on the ground aren't the same. So knowing all of that, I was then sent to the post-grad school. And one of the courses I had in the post-grad school was on international relations and military action. It was taught by a guy who was in line to be one of the 2 choices for Secretary of Defense. The other person got it. This person came and taught the course. And he covered this, and he said, you know what happened was 6-7 years before the Gulf War, we're building these big, fantastic Star Wars, technology weapon systems.
Timo parts.
Well, they have cost overruns. It's costing more than they thought. Congress isn't giving them more money. So they looked at it and said, well, we need to find money somewhere. Why are we creating this much ammunition? We don't need that much ammunition. Let's take the money we're supposed to spend on ammunition and we'll put it over here on this weapon system this year. Next year, we'll give twice as much to ammunition and rebuild it. Okay. Next year comes up. The weapon system is still over budget. They're like, okay, let's borrow this year from ammunition and we'll put it over here.
Hold on. Sorry, Mr. Ammunition, but breaking news? Maybe not that breaking. Loading news. Or deleted. It has been reported that North Korea has launched a suspected ballistic missile. I hope that's fake. Yeah, it's true. Japan's Prime Minister office confirmed North Korea launched a suspected ballistic missile today. South Korea's military reported multiple short-range ballistic missiles fired towards the Sea of Japan from the Wonsan area, part of the second launch. Oh, man. Horrible.
And then next year, we'll put 3 times as much for the 2 years we missed and the year we have. Okay. The next year comes up, still over budget, or a new system needs money. And they went, oh, we can't take more. We need.
Ovis herder. Can't trust mainstream media. That's true. That's true, man.
To build some ammunition, but let's just allocate half of what we were supposed to allocate to this year and take that half and we'll put it over here. Well, now we've got this bow wave of debt where we're not making the ammunition we need. And by the time the Gulf War hit, we were 4 or 5 years behind in how much ammunition we should have had stockpiled. So when it came to all of a sudden we've got to go to war, we're like, we don't have any.
With what?
We're sorry, we don't have any. I was shocked. I hate to say it, but at the time we were flying going, you know, if the Iraqis just keep coming, we can't stop them because we have nothing to shoot them with.
Dang.
And our helicopters are probably going to stall and we won't be able to fly. So it was a weird thing to be in the largest, biggest military in the world, which we are, and have little things like this that are being made, decisions made by politicians that are affecting our warfighting capability. And that sort of thing, I think, is still going on today. And when I think of what we're doing and how much money we're spending on prosecuting Iran, I have to ask myself, how is that going to translate into our ability to maintain our citizen safety and our way of life moving forward? That's a tough question to ask.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say to that.
I don't either. That is it's a sobering reality. And it's a sobering, when you start thinking of things like this and you start looking at actions we do in the world with a little bit different lens, you start getting a little bit different answer than you would if you didn't have this extra information.
No matter where you're watching the Sean Ryan Show from.
Quit yelling at me, man. Quit yelling. Sean Ryan, cool dude, cool dude.
Now, I'm gonna say some anti-Semitic shit. I'ma fuck your bitch. I'ma kill this nigga. I'ma fuck your bitch. I'ma kill this nigga. I'ma fuck your bitch.
What is this?
I'ma kill this nigga. I'ma fuck your.
Nah, man. Kanye, come on, dude. Come on, you can't just say that on the stream, dude. What are you doing, man? Kanye is one of those guys where you never know what you're going to get. You just never know what you can get. He's just... But this is a wild story, if it's accurate.
Of course, there is more coming out of Erica Kirk's mouth. She just can't stop speaking. She's another one. Silence just is not her thing. Even though you have the right to remain silent, these people choose not to. And of course, every time they open their mouth, it's just a bunch of lies, mumbo jumbo. I can't even get over it. At what point do you look and say, hey, maybe I should just shut up? But no, Erica she's got to join that team. So we're going to hop onto X right now, and I'm going to go over what Project Constitution shared. So this is Erica Kirk. Calvary Confessions Part 1, the deleted video Erica Kirk desperately tried to hide, 5 bombshell clips, they expose Erica Kirk, is a fraud, which we already kind of knew. Mega thread.
Can we talk about what she's wearing on her head over here? What is she doing, dude? Good Christian, huh?
The Erica Kirk illusion is completely unraveling. We just secured an hour-long, previously deleted video of Erica Kirk speaking at the 2021 Good Things Women's Convention in California, and she accidentally exposed the entire operation. From admitting she manipulates men to inappropriate fixations with minors, here are the 5 smoking gun clips that she tried to hide. Not shocking, so let's just jump into these clips. Again, Project Constitution. This is his page. If you don't follow him, please follow him.
You guys are so blessed to have them as a part of your worship team. Unbelievable. I am so happy to be back. For those of you who have no idea who I am, my name is Erica Kirk. I am married to the unbelievable husband of mine, Charles Kirk. Charlie. So last time I was here, I was a Franzwe. Now I upgraded my last name to a Kirk. Not as many consonants in the last name now anymore. It's been an unbelievable ride since the last time that we were all together. You choose to love someone even when they aren't lovable, just how someone chooses to love you when you're not lovable yourself. It's about having your priorities straight with regards to relationships. And I have seen this time and time again, even coastal differences. Like when I was living in New York.
Yeah, does she even care about her kids? What's happening?
Types of relationships that I would have that were work related were very transactional. Nice to meet you, do business, go on. In LA, it was like, hey, nice to meet you, but what are you going to do for me? One yes closer to being on the silver screen. Like,
she has good sound effects. I got to give her that. Those are really good sound effects.
It's very, very interesting, the worldly relationships that we have and how we prioritize them. And of course, the worldly mindset is, yeah, but what's in it for me? What do I get out of it?
What?
By the way, we're going live every day of 2026, so make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications.
Oh, boy. So let's see what he wrote here. He said, Calvary Confessions Part 2, the silver screen admission and transactional slip-up. Right at the beginning of this clip, you can watch her attempt to force fake tears before introducing herself, but pay close attention to what happens. The second she actually talks about Charlie, instead of expressing a deep, genuine love, she casually jokes, last time I was here, I was a Franzwe. Now I upgraded my last name to Kirk. An upgrade, she doesn't describe a biblical union. She describes a calculated social climb. I agree with that statement. I also think she should not even have the last name Kirk right now, because she has done nothing to honor her husband's memory, but that is a whole nother thing. But the second half of this clip is the absolute bombshell. She fully leans into the transactional nature of her relationships, describing her relationships in LA as, hey, nice to meet you, but what can you do for me?
Oh my gosh,
one yes closer to being on the silver screen. Wait, did you catch that? The silver screen. Erica has repeatedly claimed she has never had any aspirations of being famous. The audio completely destroys that lie.
Obis heard her. I think they do that just to protect the children and their future. Like if they want to be public figures, then they can. But if they don't want to be public figures and they want to be private, then they can do that too. So just kind of to give the kids more variety. I think that's the reason they don't show their children's faces. And I'm cool with that. You know, like I think that's actually smart.
Proves she was a Hollywood obsessed aspiring actress looking for her big break, navigating relationships based entirely on what is in it for me. Marrying Charlie wasn't love. It was the ultimate acting gig to secure her fame and social status, and she just confessed to it on a hot mic. I agree with that. I personally think that Erica Kirk's behavior has always come off pick me, personally. The way she dresses, her demeanor, everything about it is selfish and very pick me. I'm the best, nose in the air. Like not one time have I ever felt like Erica Kirk comes off as like humble. I mean, I'm just saying. I also never knew who Erica.
Welcome, Diane. Happy to have you here. God bless you too.
Kirk even was until, they off Charlie. Whoever off Charlie. We'll just say that because we don't know for sure. But we do know it's not Tyler Robinson, right? So let's read the third one and listen. There's 4 videos, guys. Cavalry Confessions Part 3, The Handler's Confession, The Neck Moves the Head. We have been warning you that the new TPUSA is a compromised operation, and that Erica Kirk was never just a wife. She was the handler. In this newly uncovered audio, she literally says the quiet part out loud to a room full of people. Listen to her exact words. The man is the head, but
Brian and Rachel. Yeah, what we call number 1, get by, bitch.
The woman is the neck, and the neck can make the head move whatever way she wants. Wasn't
Are we staying PG-13 over here, honey? What's going on?
that a romantic, biblical thing to say? I mean, that sounds really Christian-like.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too Christian-like.
But watch her body
Thank you, Diane.
language and listen to what happens next. The second she realizes what she just admitted, she panics. She immediately.
Yeah, Ovis, after hearing about that stuff, was it like the Romanian thing? Yeah, it seems like she could have been involved in Island Man E for sure.
Gets defensive and stammers. It's not meant to be manipulative. This is the exact moment the mask slips. It is
Lonzo World. Did you hear about what her mom and dad do for work?
terrible acting meant to cover her tracks. She isn't describing biblical marriage. She is describing an intelligence operation. She was pulling these strings the entire time. So before we play this, I think that she's always come off like this again. I think everything has looked right when she took over being the CEO.
How did you guys feel about that? Like, there was like a huge rise right after Charlie's passing, and then a huge fall with Erica Kirk. Like, I guess in the public's eye, it was just such a fascinating movement of events and such a tragic event. Man, it seems like the whole world was so sad, except a few liberal people.
Too happy, too willing to step into the role. What happened to taking care of your kids? Immediately, she's like on this press tour. She's like, going around peddling his book, all these things. Well, what happened to your children?
100% Kurt LSU 79. If a chick is in love, she doesn't smile like that. If her husband died, they can't even act normal after a heartbreak, especially death. But this chick turned into a superstar, smiling every day. That's nuts, man. Yeah, that's cashews right there. That's macadamias. She's got those almonds. So wild, man. So wild. We're going live every day at 2026. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications.
And you don't go from sitting at home and cooking and cleaning all day to jumping into this with like such devotion.
JBU, she's a placeholder. Oh, please explain.
And honor and excitement. If that's not really what you wanted this entire time, that would typically be something you kind of fall into and you struggle at first because it's not what you really wanted. You weren't good at it, whatever. We haven't seen that from Erica Kirk. We have seen this it's like she was on the sidelines waiting, like, tap me in, That's how it's always come across. I don't think she's ever done a good job. I don't think she's a good actor. I don't think the thing that lacks the most here is emotion in being relatable, being.
Nanette says she is not inspiring, not one bit. Yeah, we tried to watch an interview with her 2 streams ago, and like everyone, I was like, I'm sorry guys, I can't. Everyone's like, yeah, next. We just can't whenever she's speaking. For some reason, it feels like I don't understand if she has passion in her words whenever she's speaking. There's just something definitely lacking there.
Empathetic, having compassion. In order for me to connect to somebody, if you're as cold as a rock or an ice cube, I can't relate with that. There's no humbleness to even relate on. And I think that is what she is. I also think that she is.
Just imagine if Charlie Kirk did become president. How incredible of a change would he have done? Like, absolutely incredible. That person was like directly from the Lord, brought here, an angel on earth. That guy was incredible.
I don't know. She just, to me, she comes across calculated.
On Charlie's chili sauce. Oh my god, I didn't hear that.
That's just me,
We gotta
though.
look that up.
Let's jump into this clip.
One of my favorite movies
Thank you.
is
Nanette.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding. How many of you have seen that movie? I love that movie. I could watch it on repeat. And so there's a point in the movie
I hope there's a point to this story because we don't really care what your favorite movie is.
where the mom and the daughter are talking about this one moment before she's about to get married, and she's trying to convince the father to do something that he does not want to do. And they have all the women are everywhere. It's total chaos. It's like absolute mayhem. And the mom, she's like, don't worry. She's like, the man is the head, but the woman is the neck. And the neck can make the head move whatever way she wants.
All right. Let's see that chili sauce.
The most, what really just hits me hard is when I'm in the grocery store and I see his hot sauce. I want to buy it. Or it's the little things, his clothes everywhere. Excuse me, but it's the little things. And I know that people who have experienced loss totally understand what I'm saying. It's the small things that just get you. It's the visual of, Daddy coming home, and to the world he was Charlie Kirk, but to us he was my love of my life and my children's dad. I'm so sorry. Understandable. Excuse me, but it's those little things where, again, he would walk through the door, drop his bags, Daddy's home, take his phone, Friday night, Shabbat Shalom, throw it in the junk drawer, and it was just all us. And that's what I always wanted to make so special for him, was coming home. I'd always say, baby, I don't care what time you get home. Home is here for you. Your food will never be cold. It might sit out for a little bit, but I'll reheat it. It's fine.
Got a ring for each finger, but can't get a job.
And I just want to encourage spouses, don't get mad. It's so easy. Don't do it. What I miss the most, what really just hits me hard, is when I'm in the grocery store.
Yeah, she said like Shabbat or whatever. Meaning Sabbath, Jewish day of rest and celebration that begins on Friday before sunset and ends on Saturday night after nightfall. Yeah, Charlie was known to do a Sabbath on Saturdays, so, but I don't know if he. Oh yeah, Shabbat Shalom. That's right, Shabbat Shalom. Hebrew greeting that literally translates to peaceful Sabbath or good Sabbath. It is to wish others well on the Jewish day of rest, which begins sundown on Friday and ends at nightfall on Saturday. Okay, I guess that's when he would do it. Yeah, that makes sense. Saturday. But for him to say it in Hebrew? Okay.
And I just was like, exactly. Because if you picture the physical body, and it's not meant to be manipulative. Some people are like, oh, I'll move the head wherever I want because I'm going to manipulate my husband. That has nothing to do with it.
Yes, Blacks HQ. Yeah. How do you explain that? The bullet cannot be matched to the alleged bullet thrower.
If you picture the physical body, you can't move your head without your neck. You can't.
Oh man, is that backpedaling if I've ever seen it? Oh my gosh, I can't take it.
Your head
She can't take it.
is supported by your whole body. And it determines which way the head will turn, because a wise husband will listen to a wise wife. He will.
Well, then what the heck happened to Charlie Kirk? I mean,
Yeah, was he listening to her or was he not? I don't know, man. Something about that gal is interesting. I don't know what to say. Oh, is this the one with Candace? Let's see.
Perpetually haunted by, and I've explained this to you many times, is that final phone call that Charlie had with Bibi Netanyahu. The one that took place in the Hamptons, the one that nobody, while they were authoring these long-winded tweets explaining that we didn't do nothing, tweets that were overseen by lawyers and PR agents, no one wanted to address Bibi Netanyahu's call. Charlie described it, as I told you, as an intervention over the topic of Israel. Bibi offered, as I said, to take Turning Point to the next level. And what troubles me is not knowing the answer in exchange for what? I mean, how much money would it take to bring an organization that is already pulling in $100 million per year to the next level? And also, where was this money?
$100 million a year? What are you going to do with that? Give it to charity?
Going to come from? How are they going to generate that sort of an income? How could they know they were going to make that kind of money? I have an idea that it may have been guaranteed from like war profiteering, war in Iran, particularly the issue that Bibi and Charlie were butting heads about.
Yeah, YouTube 5. Women who have had nothing but gain tremendous power from their husbands' dealings are probably the most dangerous humans on planet Earth. Reason being, they never earned it. They don't know what to do with it. And they can just get so wild because they're no longer restrained by time because, you know, time is like, oh, I need to spend from 8 to 5 working. And then after that, I got to do laundry. I got to cook. I got to pay my bills. I got to do this. I got to do that. So you have all these responsibilities. But when you have nothing and then you just come up with a lot of money, it's like you don't know what to do with all this time and all this money.
War, as I told you a couple of days ago, is a big business, not just a big business, the biggest business on earth. And it's also a overtly political business. Next thing we know, Charlie is dead. Turning Point USA is trying to twist and reimagine his legacy as pro-war in the Middle East, war in Iran, and Bibi is doing the most, right? Bibi is doing the rounds saying, I didn't kill him immediately, when no one initially thought that he killed him until he said he didn't kill him. Then we thought, did you kill him? It wasn't me, he said. But of course, as we thought further, I couldn't establish a connection between Bibi Netanyahu and Utah, right? Israel and Utah. Even though, as I began prodding the narrative of the Egyptian plains, it was revealed to me that there clearly is a connection to Israel and Utah. But why? How is this working? What's Bibi got to do with Provo? Does he have anything to do with Provo? Something was clearly missing, and then that something presented itself in the form of this lifelong friendship. Now, it would be difficult for me to overstate to you just how close Bibi Netanyahu is to Mitt Romney. Yeah, that Mitt Romney, the former senator of Utah, the one-time presidential nominee who ran against Barack Obama, the co-founder and the former CEO of Bain Capital. I mean, frankly, if I wanted to, I could do an entire series on his 50-year friendship with Bibi Netanyahu, their intense political support for one another, counseling to one another, a friendship which began, like I told you, back in 1976, when they were both working for the Boston Consulting Group. I mean, look, I'll just show you this quickly. This article in the New York Times back in 2012 says a friendship dating to 1976 resonates in 2012. And that is about, and it goes in and you should read it, about their remarkable friendship. Now, let's just keep that there. I want you to park that in the back of your mind. Romneys are a very powerful family in Utah. And I want you to park that information in the back of your mind, A, because I just can't believe I forgot it. It was somewhere, somewhere in a database, but it just kind of evaded me for a bit. But as we go forward, this information is going to become increasingly relevant as we revisit various aspects.
Barry London says, I lost all respect for her a long time. How did you lose all that respect for her? What happened? Oh, you lost your chat crown. Oh, bro, you gotta start chatting it up.
Regarding certain individuals on September 10th that we had mentioned.
Yeah, there's so many mixed things about her that's kind of wild, with her marriage and then her like super extreme views. But she's doing it, like she's got a lot of cool things about her as well.
Dun.
But speaking of, the GOAT of podcasting has brought up the Charlie Kirk and lavalier mic situation. Jason Martin, I didn't. Let me go double check. Sorry, thanks. Candace is actively trying to destroy Kirk's legacy. What one thing has she done to help TPUSA flourish after its founder's tragic death? Oh. I don't know if she's helped TPUSA. I can't say she has. Unless she's paid to do negative publicity, because all publicity is positive publicity, I guess, for that. But I don't really know if that's going to work for TPUSA. She hasn't really been too supportive. I think she was more supportive of Charlie Kirk than she was of TPUSA after Charlie Kirk's passing. I can't really say. What do you guys think?
Exactly. Okay, this is a dude named Mike France.
It wasn't James Lee reporting it.
Mike Franco, excuse me.
This is the same stuff I've seen elsewhere.
Says October 10th, 2025, exactly 1 month after Kirk's death, a catastrophic explosion destroyed Building 602 at the Accurate Energetic Systems facility in McEwen, Tennessee. The blast, estimated to involve 23,000 pounds of explosives, killed 16 employees, injured several others, and registered as a 1.6 magnitude seismic event. Yo! The U.S. Chemical Safety Board...
1.6 magnitude seismic event? I didn't get that info.
Confirmed the site produced cast boosters and miniaturized shaped charges for military and industrial use. Conspiracy theorists allege that AES was the manufacturer of the miniature shaped charge used in Charlie Kirk's assassination. They point to a $425,000 Department of Defense contract awarded to AES in May of 2025 for extra small anti-personnel demolition charges, possibly used in covert operations. The time
No, Frodo, what? Do you have that clip? How can I find it?
Of the explosion just weeks after Charlie Kirk's death has fueled speculation that it was a deliberate cover-up to destroy evidence and eliminate the personnel with knowledge of the technology. So there's the pager attacks, the Lebanon pager attacks. Here's my problem with that explanation, and I'm not saying that I'm right and they're wrong.
Yes, it's a
my
theory.
problem is I don't see that thing exploding.
Yeah.
So that microphone, I don't see it exploding. I don't see fire coming out of it. If you have a gun and the gun goes off 6 inches from someone's neck like that, you're going to see a charge out of the gun.
That's a great point.
Extremely valid point. I was just about to say that. Yeah, we don't really hear about that too much. But what are some other things that happen without an explosion like that? Because we did see the T-shirt move. That's for sure. 100%. Yeah, blank pool. I'd do the same thing, man. What a legend. What a legend. And he's been doing it for so long. Absolutely, dude. We would notice the explosion unless it's all augmented reality. True. Yeah, I heard about the hologram. Heard about that. Heard about the escape room underneath the table. Heard about what did they like repave that whole thing the day after, when you're not supposed to touch a scene like that until it's completely investigated. It's all wild, man. It's all wild.
Wait.
And if it's a small device without a barrel, something has to propel that energy, and that's an explosion. And if it explodes, you're going to see it explode, unless they've developed some sort of way of hiding that.
Yeah.
Which is possible. And I also heard it's like a Hollywood thing to like let him go on vacation for a while. Stop doing all that stuff. Retire. It's all so wild, man.
Oh, just
dun, dun.
What? I don't see anything here. Oh, the shirt moves a lot? Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, you got to see the Comedy Mothership sometime, dude. That's like, I got to go there too, man. That's one of the best places to go for sure.
Probably 20 million people.
All right, so this is allegedly Secret Service agent moves this guy to get away from the kill zone.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's sad, take a look at what happened.
Oh my God, where he walks him into that spot. That's wild. Here's a Secret Service agent, and then here is the photographer.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's sad, take a look at what happened.
He talks to his watch, and then boom, happens.
A Congresswoman and member of the House Oversight Committee, Anna Paulina Luna. Congresswoman, welcome.
Hey, how are you doing?
Great, great. So I want to get your reaction to the breaking news of the moment, this report from the GAO into the assassination attempt 1 year ago. What's your reaction, particularly to the part where senior level Secret Service agents received intelligence of a possible threat about 10 days before the assassination attempt?
This type of negligence, in my opinion, is not accidental. It's intentional. As you know, I am actually the chairman of the Declassification of Federal Secrets, and I've investigated one of the most famous assassinations in U.S. history. That's the JFK assassination.
Whoever knows her, tell her Jason Martin thinks she's gorgeous. Hook it up. Let this live stream hook them up.
And in my opinion, the way that this was handled, not to mention, if you recall, I was actually able to directly interview the Secret Service director when she testified to Congress. And we had whistleblowers that came forward to Senator Hawley's office and stated that Secret Service never even met with local law enforcement. That angle in which the president was shot from was actually left, in my opinion, open. And this reeks of an inside job. You know, I'm going to say it. I will tell you that they had plans for him to be dead, but God had other plans. And President Trump is blessed because of it.
What is your assessment?
Real or fake? What do you guys think? Was this ketchup on the ear, or actually this happened and it was real?
Of where things stand in the House Oversight Committee after the Ashley Williams testimony and after President Biden's doctor pled the fifth earlier this week?
It is no question to me that Biden was suffering from some form of cognitive issues. Remember, I was the only member of Congress to go after Merrick Garland and actually try to hold him in inherent contempt for hiding those her tapes. I will tell you that this is just confirmation of something that we knew all along. And I will also tell you that when my district was actually hit by hurricanes, that I was able to then talk to President Biden at the time, but it doesn't mean that he wasn't suffering from issues. And what I will tell you is that this type of thing can't happen again in the future. I do think that there should be some form of cognitive test that should be released to the public for elected officials, not just the president, but for members of Congress, because on both
Maybe he was allergic to silver.
sides. We've had members that have served for too long, sometimes obviously suffering from those issues. And because of the nature of our job, you have to make sure that A, you are able to be there mentally, but also two, that you are able to make decisions. Remember, we have the ability to vote on war, and God forbid this happens sometime again in the future. We can't afford these types of mistakes to happen. Mental decline is a very real thing when you get older in age.
To another hot topic, there's clearly friction between Attorney General Pam Bondi and Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino over the handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files. What's your assessment of that? And I think many of us were expecting we would get a lot more details about those files in a public release.
Deputy Director Bongino is an American patriot, and I really hope that he stays the deputy director at the FBI. I think to lose him would be a loss for the entire nation. What I will also tell you, though, is I believe the reason why Americans are so frustrated with this process is because of the way that there has been conflicting information out of the Department of Justice. Mm-hmm. And so what I'm going to be doing, along with my task force, is requesting information not pertaining to victims, not pertaining to CSAM, that should be out there for the American people to decide. I will say that the way that the administration rolled out the JFK files, of which, by the way, there has been groundbreaking discoveries in those rollouts, is literally the gold standard for declassification. And there is trust in transparency, and so I will encourage them to continue to do that.
So much trust in transparency. And if anyone knows her, let her know. I'd be happy to have her on the stream to interview her sometime and introduce her to Jason.
The Trump Justice Department is...
Mojave read, Luna is supporting extreme abortion bans and sowing chaos and dysfunction in Congress. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Now investigating two people who investigated President Trump, John Brennan and James Comey. What are your expectations in terms of that work?
Well, it appears, and this is something that...
New word, look up. Let's see what it is. Kardashev scale ladder. Kardashev scale is a theoretical framework proposed by Soviet astronomer Nikolai Kardashev in 1964 to classify civilizations based on their energy consumption and mastery. Originally defining three types: type 1, planetary energy, stellar energy, and galactic energy. Oh man, this is like astrophysics stuff, man.
It is not just my opinion, but the opinion of many intelligent investigators, that the way that whole thing rolled out did indeed reek of a setup. And what I will also tell you is that those people being in such high positions of power, for them to be grossly abused.
Yeah, if Joe Kent came out and said, we faked the attempt, then that would be super wild. But also, I don't think it was like a fake attempt where there was like an actual real bullet. If it was fake, I think it would just be like a Hollywood fake. If they did that, they wouldn't like put him in danger at risk. But to do that, like, and to just nick his ear, that's pretty wild.
Using civil rights of...
But I heard one person expired over there, so I don't know.
American citizens, they should be held accountable. And I think that there's going to be very serious investigation. And I also believe legal charges against them for what they did to the president. But not just the president. I think that they grossly exploited the system as a whole.
We will follow that. This week, the United States Supreme Court blocked Florida.
Yeah, Donald Trump is 79 years old, according to the internet.
His new immigration law that would make it a crime to enter Florida after entering the country illegally. Are you disappointed with the conservative-led Supreme Court?
I can tell you that I've been disappointed with the Supreme Court on many issues. Ultimately, that's their ruling. But I will tell you this, it is grossly irresponsible for people to continue to encourage illegal immigration. It hurts people on both sides. We just saw a few days ago, you saw there was the ICE raid in California. There were children that were actually working on those farms, but it's not the first time that children have been caught being exploited in massive corporate farming operations. It also happened at Purdue and Tyson chicken farms, where minors were actually caught working in the slaughterhouses. And so it's time that Congress serve as a deterrent and increase the mandatory punishment for some of these corporations that are hiring child migrants. I will also tell you, look, I am the first Mexican-American elected representative from the state of Florida to the House of Representatives. And to think that this whole argument has become, A, focused on race, and B, if you supposedly want border security, you're all of a sudden xenophobic and racist. I condemn that thought, because what I will tell you is that Barack Obama had the very same perspective, yet you're not seeing the name calling and the protesting that's taking place today.
We'll have to leave it there. Congresswoman Anna Napoleon and Luna, thank you so much for your time today. Great to see you.
We gotta see what Elon Musk is offering over here, because if you guys want to, if you want to get a free Cybertruck, check this out. For all you Trump lovers.
Prices down starting on day one.
Free Air 9460 in the chat saying politics equals who tells the most convincing lies gets elected into office. Seems like Free Air 9460 is onto something accurate, given what many people voted Trump in for and for what he's doing now. We're going live every single day of 2026. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. All right, I'm not listening to that whole thing because that's wild, but allegedly every single person has the exact same script. This video has been uploaded by over 20 Democratic senators, all saying the same. Democratic. My goodness. My goodness. Calvary Confessions thread. Oh my gosh, dude. Not AI, not AI. They're not even saying the same thing. Not at all. Not at all. Well, for you Trump lovers,
Do you believe that?
We got it for you. We got it. We definitely do. It's all right here. And for you Candace lovers,
Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say, no, I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago. When
I didn't know she was black.
She happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always identified as a black.
I don't know. Is she Indian or is she?
I respect either one. I respect either one, but she
Smart man. I respect either one.
obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn, and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe
I think somebody should look into that too when you ask. Continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
Just love the way he says black.
Everybody, we're going live every single day of 2026. I love you. The Lord loves you. Make sure you subscribe, like, turn on notifications. And we got a good one for you tomorrow. So, yeah. And if the haters keep on saying those bad things to you and it's hurting your feelings, just let it roll off your back like water does off a duck's back. Excedrin 10 says Trump is a genius and the greatest president ever. Other people saying he is destroying the world. Yeah, a lot of people, unfortunately, are just not happy with like what he's done. He hasn't been keeping his promises. I can't say he has been, because he 100% has not been. 2 channels of this. One is for horizontal and one is for vertical. So Elon Musk it. Oh my gosh. Dan Lord, don't tell me Dave Chappelle either, because Dave Chappelle is definitely not a Democrat. He probably was a Democrat until he started seeing, you know, all these Democrats let in all these illegal aliens and criminals and creating havoc and committing crimes. And he's like, you know what? I don't need this in my life. I don't need this at all. I'm going to move someplace where there's all Republicans, where there's police, where there's actual laws. Yeah, that's true. Paint all day, 359. Everybody complained when Biden was in office. It'll never stop. People will just complain. That's 100% accurate. All right, y'all. I love you. Take care of yourself. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, and share with a friend if you want. Until next